pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin,
Here.
Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Here.
Bruns.
Here. Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and an approval for the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll stick with this agenda. First up, general discussion, citizens. Do we have any citizens present that would like to discuss anything? City council? Doesn't look like it. We'll move on to the thumbs up award. Mr. Donlin.
Pass.
Pass.
In the past, I've replaced thumbs up once in a while with a hats off to a long-standing member of the community. And this week, Bob Becker died, 100 years old. His family and him have been in this town for a long time. Becker Brothers Painting, they've been involved. His brother Jim was on the city council for 8 years. I think Bob was even up here. I'm pretty sure Bob was up here. Good friends with one of his sons. So his family. So anyway, hats off to Bob Becker. Just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Pass.
Pass.
I'd like to give thumbs up to the state of Iowa and the Plywood Trail for receiving a grant for the Plywood Trail construction. So that was good to hear.
What did we get?
$300,000.
Was it a match? No, it's one we obviously applied for, so.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a start.
Yeah, absolutely, all right.
Get that money flowing from the state to this side of the state.
1B,
Yeah.
that pays, good.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to consent items. We've got approval of the January 4 regular meeting and the December 30 special meeting minutes. A list of bills from the period ending 1/14/22, monthly financial statement for December 2021, renewal of liquor license for Blue Tequila, and an elevator agreement for the Community Wellness Center. Anybody have any of those that they'd like to pull out?
I don't want to pull one, but I got a question probably to you, Mike. How is CVP2 promises doing in running with the actual donations? How's the keep up?
The Community Betterment
Number 2.
Foundation. It's been doing fine. I think there's only one major donor still, residual giving. Dustin, you're the chair of that. Is that about right?
That's correct.
It's almost done.
So it's oh, okay, it's almost done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, good. It's part of the consent, that's why I just wanted to.
And the projects themselves are virtually done as well.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Motion to approve consent items 1 through 5.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on those? If not, I'll entertain a motion,
Aye.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to the action items, we've got financing for the hospital revenue bonds. At the September 7, 2021 meeting, the council adopted resolution 2141 to enter into one or more hospital loan agreements and financing in a principal amount not to exceed $14 million for hospital improvements. Attached are 3 resolutions for the following. Number 1 is a taxable revenue bond 2022A for $8.3 million. Number 2 is a revenue refunding bond 2022B for $4,185,000. And number 3 is a taxable revenue bond 2022C for $1,515,000. The hospital improvements will include a new addition, remodeling of current space, mechanical building improvements, parking expansion, and site improvements. So I see we've got a couple of representatives from the hospital here. If has any specific questions or concerns about the revenue bond?
Tell you what, when it comes to money and high dollar stuff, I'm probably the simplest one up here, so can you kind of explain what it is we're doing? If you would, please,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
just for me.
Sure, you bet. Daryl Friedenbach, the CFO at the hospital. You're talking in terms of what you're doing today, the
Yes,
action?
yes.
So previously in September, you've approved the resolution so that we can move forward with borrowing money. So today, what you're doing is the actual issuance of 3 loan agreements. It was broken out into 3 because of specific purposes and length of maturities on them. The $8.3 million one is really a construction financing that will be taken out in 2 years by the USDA, and that'll be the permanent financing on it. The refunding one is with a bank in Des Moines that has held since 2013 when we did a project at that time. We're refinancing that as part of this project, so that's refunding that one. And then the final one is a third note where we had to borrow some additional money beyond the USDA, and that's the $1.515 million, again with the local banks and the consortium that work together in financing the project, so appreciate their involvement in it. And so that is permanent financing, the 1.515 over a 20-year period following construction. So this is just the issuance to get it done. We'll close on the loans next week, then assuming the city approves the resolutions today.
That is exactly what I thought it was, but I'd just like to clarify explanation just
Yep,
for myself.
absolutely.
So,
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate that.
What's there to say about rates, Daryl?
Pretty good rates on those. Again, the local banks were very competitive on that. A couple of them are taxable versus non-taxable, and it changes the rates a little bit. The $8.3 million construction loan is at 3.15%. Or actually, we're going to go with 2.85 on that. And then the refinancing is at 2.38% for 20 years. And then the 1.515 is at 2.80 for the 20 years. So pretty good rates all the way across.
They're all locked.
They'll reset after like 5 years. Have the option to reset based on a factor there. Of course, the USDA loan, when that takes out in 2 years, that's locked for 35 years.
Right.
Yeah, so a very competitive rate on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just so everyone's clear, all the loan agreements and financing comes from the hospital revenue and Floyd Valley Healthcare
Right. There's a,
income.
yeah, there was a resolution done actually back in 2013 that always assigns all loans, revenue bonds from the hospitals paid solely from hospital revenues. It's not an obligation back on the taxpayer on that, so.
Right.
Yep.
It's virtually an enterprise fund.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to get technical,
Yeah.
it's virtually an enterprise. I know it's not, but it's paid for the same way.
City attorney's kind of going.
Yeah, well.
It's exactly the same, only different.
You're being smart.
That's all I got, pal.
All right. All right, sounds good.
These are the jokes. Anybody have any further questions of Daryl? You guys are happy with these rates and happy with?
Yeah, very pleased and happy to be working with the local banks. It's great all of the local banks came together and are working with us on this project, so it's always a pleasure working with the local community on this, so.
Great.
I'll make a motion adopting resolution 22-2, authorizing and approving a loan agreement and providing the issuance and securing of payment to not to exceed $8.3 million taxable hospital revenue bond, series 2022 alpha, the Floyd Valley Hospital project.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Motion carries.
Come on, somebody else.
I'd make a motion adopting resolution number 22-3, authorizing and approving a loan agreement and providing for the issuance and securing the payment of a not to exceed $4,185,000 hospital revenue refunding bond series 2022B Floyd Valley Hospital project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call vote.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes?
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
adopting resolution 22-4, authorizing and approving the loan agreement provided for insurance and securing payments not to exceed $1,515,000 taxable hospital revenue bonds, series 2022C, Floyd Valley Hospital bonds.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Yes.
Sturgeon, Bruns,
Yes. Motion carried.
Just a word of warning, Mr. Mayor, I do recall on several times before when Floyd Valley did this, that the mayor spent 60-some signatures on all the different documents, so set aside some time and some writer's time.
Very good. I was afraid you were going to ask me to paint or something like that on the project. Signing's easy. I have a lot of good tools if you need some help, so.
Well, I will say that I have had a few complaints that they've been minuscule, but you guys run a very good ship, and I hear basically nothing but good about Floyd Valley. I think it's a definite gem in our community, so keep up the good work.
Here, here. Okay, moving on to the signs ordinance. It's being proposed that the city of, that the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 152, signs be amended to clarify the permitting and usage of portable signs. All portable signs, by definition, are considered temporary and require a sign permit. Permits for temporary signs per section 152.13 are valid for 30 consecutive days in any 3-month period and not more than 90 days in any calendar year. Requests for portable signs are rare, but we've never had a set fee designated. Staff is recommending that a fee of $50 be set for portable temporary signs. Any further discussion on this, Mike? I mean, clarification or?
Jason, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I can. Like I said in the packet, it's rare that they get asked for. Is everybody aware what we mean by temporary signs? So the movable ones that you can bring in, and they're rare. I don't honestly remember how I handled it when I was in code enforcement, whether or not they were let them do it for free, or if we somehow tried to fit it into our current building permit scale. I know Greg has probably issued one, I thought he had said, in the past, and he just made it fit in our current scale. He had a second request recently, so we discussed it and thought, well, maybe that should have a set fee to it. They're rare enough. You really can't put a value on those things anyway. There is no construction cost to them, so it really should be based off of our pay scale or permit scale. So we came up with the $50 fee. And then if you look at what I wrote up for the changing of the ordinances, all it really was, our ordinance does talk about temporary and portable signs, but all I added in both sections was the part that talks about a fee being set by the council. So that fee would be set every year, based on that second page under that agenda item. It'd be on a list of fees. We'll just place it there.
And then all I would add for the council is that all we're doing today is setting it for a hearing. And then we'll have the hearing to discuss if we want to change it, what the fee's going to be. And you'll have your 3 readings of the ordinance, just like you would on any other ordinance.
I'm trying to picture some examples of what portable signs we're talking about.
The Eagles Club, maybe, the one in front of the Eagles Club that's there from time to time. Would you agree with that, Jason?
Probably what used to be there.
Yeah, the old one.
That's
That wasn't portable,
announcing
that was mounted. That was
They used
100%.
to have a lit up portable one that,
Right,
yeah.
but,
There's one in front of the boat farm
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, sometimes gas stations use them. I think I've seen, well, I can't think of where I've seen them lately. I think Clark, I think the Eagle one was portable at the very beginning, and then it was put, then it was attached to something, so that it became non-temporary, not portable. But, you know, if somebody brings in one of those ones that has a big arrow on the top and has the changeable lettering,
Right,
those are portable and considered temporary.
right.
How about the 4x8 homemade sheet of plywood that sits in somebody's yard announcing the Galen Ball, or, you know, one of those kind of things? We see those now and again.
Pancake supper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Bob's, they have some every once in a while announcing somebody's fundraiser. Are those the things that are gonna be $50 now?
Bob's typically puts up the, like the cow chip thing for the county fair.
Yeah, yeah.
That one usually sits at that corner. Yeah, those fall under temporary. I don't know if we've ever, Mike, did you ask that? I don't know if we've ever pursued charging people for those things. We can. I mean, we can make a better effort to do that, but we've never have. We've never charged for the Galen Ball thing. That always used to sit, I think, at the corner of Highway 3 and Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Whoever lives there, I think they used to have a big sign in their yard yearly for something.
Galen Ball, I believe.
I don't know if we should, but I like consistency, so, I mean,
Well, I do too, and I think we'll just let it up to these hearings that are gonna be coming up to have more discussion about it, because I'm not sure everybody's gonna see that the same way, are they?
Yeah, and I'm concerned about real estate signs. Mike, you're shaking your head, and that's fine.
Jason, we had that discussion, those aren't included, isn't that right? For sale, real estate signs, for sale signs?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't include the entire sign chapter, but those are covered in the sign
Yeah.
chapter.
You have to take a look at this
Okay,
chapter.
absolutely.
the gun show sign that's out by the highway usually.
Yes, gun shows.
Lost dog on a telephone pole.
I saw Mike taking a picture next to the gun show sign. Flexing his muscles.
So we're gonna set a hearing, that's fine.
Motion to establish February 1, 2022 at 12 o'clock PM for a public hearing to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 152, signs.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the hearing. We'll have further discussion on that as well. So, speaking of discussion, Jason, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a few things. We went through 4 interviews for a water operator in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And we did offer the position to Sierra DeVore. She'll be starting February 1st. So we'll have a new employee out there. that, we've gradually climbed the ladder of getting closer to approval. So this is the first time, so it's a kind of a benchmark, and hopefully the rest of the any future applications for any type of this. So the next one will be the state rec. Hopefully things go better, and this is a catalyst to keep getting grant money for that project. And the last thing I want to touch on, just so everybody's aware of it before, maybe phones have already been ringing on it, but our American Legion bar contract that we've had for years as a convention center, we did send notice last week to the Legion that we were going to not automatically renew at the end of this fiscal year. It runs to June 30th. So we will go out to see what we can get for bids on that. The Legion sure is welcome to